Okay, so, uh, hi everyone. It's been a while since I've been live. Nothing has changed. This is still extra messy here, but people keep asking me how I make stuff on YouTube too in the last couple of days because stuff started going a little bit viral, not if I dare to say. And so I decided I'm gonna go live at the same time also record the process. So the catch is, what do we have? Since we work with oils, we need paper towels. I use paper towels. You can use like cloth or whatever you like. Just pay attention, it is flammable. So let me invite. No, no, that's creator to create. Okay, still kind of figuring this thing out. So anyway, I use these simply because I don't know. It's easier for me to use them and toss them away. Are they flammable? Probably. Will they burn? I don't know. It's quite hot outside and my trash can is still not on fire. So we have that. You have oil paint as usual. I basically made this palette just now. I didn't record that. If you all want to do that, then if you want to see, what the hell is this? Flash goal. I mean, I doubt there are no people. So anyway, I can show you like my approach to color, like how dark and light I want it to be, etc. So I can show you that. Basically, a lot of these are pre-made. They're just, I want to paint night today. So I want to paint darker. I want to paint moody. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna try to do that. So you have oil paint, you have a little bit of oil, I use flaxseed, we have brushes, we have all that. What I did get, so I got these. This is a piece of canvas glued with water-based glue on the just a regular cardboard thingy I got from Temu. Why? Because I find that if you buy Chinese cardboards, you have to buy Chinese frames because that's gonna match. If you plan to buy, like, have the frames made, nothing that you get from China is not gonna match. So I just glued this water-based glue. Always when you work with oils, just in general, it's recommended water-based glue because acidic glue is gonna mess up with oils in time. It's gonna mess up your canvas. So water-based always. So what I do, I just like lightly glue it because I am gonna sign it. I don't know where. I am gonna sign it someplace. So I leave a little space, and plus since it's gonna go into a frame, I'm not gonna, it doesn't have to be like fully glued on. So I use this and I just line it up because this is basically what's gonna be shown in the frame. And I use a pen to just slightly mark where the edges are gonna be. And that's what you see in my paintings that are drying now. You just see the edges. So, and then we can move this away. I have like, I think 10 of these, so there's gonna be like 10 frames. I'm gonna order them from Temu as well. They have black, they have white, they have wooden. That's all gonna be nice. So we can throw that away. Well, not throw, but you know, we don't need it. Then we need the tape. I have the tape somewhere. There's the tape. I messed up. I bought a double-sided tape, so now I'm spending double-sided tape. I know I'm supposed to be using double-sided tape for something different, but yeah, I do what I do. I'm a mess. So we're just gonna secure the canvas to the cardboard because it's just easier for me to work like that. We make like a millimeter or more. We leave a little, like after, like below or like above or beyond the edge that you made. So there's gonna be paint. Now I know that oil paint is gonna mess up with that passepartout or cardboard, however you want to call it, depending on where you're from. But you know, I'm just gonna let it dry for a month and then I'm gonna frame. So there's really no need to. Zdravo, zdravo svima. to panic over that, and cardboard is replaceable, and you know, if my buyers want to replace it, they're free to do so. If you know, things change, people change, painting owners change. So we just fix that up so our paint doesn't move beyond what we want the passepartout to cover, because we don't want the cardboard section to get greasy. And trust me, it will get greasy if you don't let your painting dry full. So what I want to do, I want to do some stars. I want to do some landscape. I want to do just, oh, I want to do some landscape. So what do we have? We start from dark to light. Let me see. The brushes that I usually use come down to these, depending on the size of the canvas. So the general idea that I have, I think it's gonna do well. I want to add stars too, so I'm probably gonna blend. So if I'm gonna blend, I'm gonna take that. Okay, we're probably not gonna use all of these. Let's start with this one. It's dark. We can start with this one, and let's. So we have like, we have grayish. We have, this was olive green with black. I made the, I guess this is like lavender, lilac, something like that. I made the blue. This is yellow ochre. This is regular white, just in case I need it. So we're just gonna start with a dark, moody sky. And just lay that in. Now I like to work in thirds, because if you vary how your painting appears on a canvas, it's gonna be visually more appealing than if you split the canvas in half. There's a guy on YouTube, I keep forgetting people's names, other creators' names, but there is a guy on YouTube, so like that's not my idea, that's like the general kind of rule, if you want. So when you work in trees, it's visually appealing and it just draws the eye to where you want it to be. And as good artists, that's what we want to do. We're just gonna, everything starts messy. People tell me, like, my painting is a mess. Of course it is. It has to be a mess before you make it into what you want to make it. So since we're doing landscape and there are gonna be stars, I'm going to visually place the darkest section on the top. Is it visible? Okay. So we're just gonna, so the darkest section goes on top, and I try to spread it thinly, like as thin as possible, because I want that to dry fast. And I mean, there's virtually hardly any way if you use raw oil paint to speed up the process of drying. There are some mediums you can add to speed up the process, but I'm just like not a fan of mediums, so I don't use them. How else would we otherwise have the experience of taking a finger and touching our painting to check if it's dry, and if we figure out it's not, and then we mess everything up and then we have to fix it? That experience, nobody can replace that. So yeah, I just did that today. But okay, so we want, it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a stormy sky. I wanted to have it more like within one tonal moment, so I wanted to be more tonalist, but I figured, you know, let's do something else. Let's do something a little more scary, because painting dark, I don't often do that. So just gonna splash as much as we can bottles. So my dark is probably gonna be stop around here, and then we're going to have some brighter sections here, and then we're going to go a little bit more below and have a bit more brighter section there, because city pollution is basically always there, so you always want to like see a little bit of light in the landscape. This is not realism, so we do what we want. So we can just, and you know, it has to be dark because you want to add stars, so it has to be dark, which is kind of annoying to me, but it's pointless because you're gonna need that contrast to sort that out. So we're gonna use a lighter blue, and since these are oils, we can be free to add a bit of white. We're gonna shape it after, so we're just blocking the color in. We're gonna add a little bit of white. Now, I am usually a fan of what I like to call as above, so below. So if you use a specific color above on the upper 2/3 of the canvas, you should use it below in the lower third of the canvas, because it's visually matching and it doesn't, like, things fit in more when you do that. So in my case, now I'm guessing that the trees, because we are bound to add some trees, are gonna be have a little bit of blue, but let's see. So let's just, and you know, since it's not realism, it's fine. There are practically no mistakes that you can make. Just want a little bit of purple here. There's nothing wrong. I tend to say that art has no place for mistakes, because what is a mistake? Now, I'm not Bob Ross, but there's no mistake. Like, you can clean up everything and wipe everything, and it's just, there's no reason to stress over. I used to do it though. I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna mess up a canvas, it's gonna be shit. But you know, I painted about, I think, over 100 pieces so far, and thank you. And I'm sorry, by the way, because the screen is flipped towards the painting, and I still have to mirror it somehow to figure out how to see you guys. But I'm gonna keep checking occasionally, and comment and answer. So feel free to ask. I painted around like over 100 pieces. I started painting like about a year and a half ago to escape a toxic environment at work, and I work online, so you can imagine how toxic that was. And I lost the thought. What did I want to say? Yeah, and I probably messed up around like maybe 5 canvases. So that's the living room, which is a mess. Has like this huge box of paintings that I did, and it's so scary to think that you actually did that. But once you realize that there's no such thing as a mistake, oh, I love this section here. There's no such thing as a mistake. You free your mind, and then your mind and your hand listen to you. Let me see if I can show you. So this little section here I like because you can visually see the grass going upwards. Now that's in the distance. We want that in the distance. I initially planned to have it pull from this side and just be like this kind of like rows of grass. But now that I see this in the distance, and this could be a tree, and this is the bright spot, so that's gonna work nicely. You'll see. So, and it's in the lower third section of the canvas. So remember that we're gonna use that. So that's exactly what I mean. It happens accidentally. It's perfect. You see it. We're just gonna change the brush, and that's awesome. Thank you, thank you. And these I'm gonna sell for around like 55 euros. They're gonna be framed, ready to hang. The website's coming soon. I don't plan prints for those. I mean, people just sort of never comment on anything print wise. And anyway, yeah, so let's see. Okay, we're kind of done with the sky. Now with the oil paint, you wanna feel light. I know what I did now seemed harsh, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. Once you layer everything that you plan to layer, you wanna approach it as if you're a feather. And I literally have a feather here, which I found on the street the other day. So when you paint with oil, this is what you are. Why? Every stroke is gonna be visible. Every movement of your brush is gonna be visible. Thank you. Everything you do on the canvas is gonna be visible, and you wanna use it. Why? Let me just take a look. So this is fine. It looks fine. Okay. But if we just gently started brushing like this. Now this is not visible here because that's the palette that I'm using. You may not see it here, maybe it still is, but if you just gently start moving the brush, you see how you make the sky feel different and moving, but gently, but you're not pressing now, which is why we're gonna use another one. My table is oily anyway, so let me just see if I clean this. Yeah, I cleaned this one recently. Just a second. So I don't want it to be too oily because it's gonna dry for a month. But I just cleaned it. Let me see. Yeah, I just cleaned it. Let me use another one. Let me see. Oh, this is this. Okay. I know I cleaned this one yesterday. Oh, this is even worse. Okay. You know, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just get the oil out and let's do it. So what if it dries in a month? So what? Nobody cares anyway, so we're gonna blend. We're gonna blend. And you blend, you usually paint from dark to light, but you blend from light to dark. Because if you blend from dark to light, you won't have any light anymore. So we're just gonna, I want this to be, so like, let me show you. So remember, you see the strokes. So remember what it looks like. And we're just going to gently move, because we want to keep the section that I told you to pay attention to. And now we are starting to go upwards. Is it visible? Okay. We're starting to go upwards. And now, what you can do for movement, you can blend the sky like this. Let me just add a bit more here. Yeah, it's a bit of thicker paint, but that's okay. So, just bring that over here. And you know, nature is moving, and you can go dark to light if you want to drop it, which we can. So we're just going to soften that up a bit. I still want some clouds to be visible. What you can do is you can also just use, and the way you use your brush, you use all sides of the brush. So you don't just paint like this. You paint at an angle. You lay it flat. You push it. You pull it. You manipulate the brush, but gently. So now I'm just gonna start going in circles because I kind of want to blend it nicer, because the top of the sky is fine. Now I usually the catch with oils is that they're super shiny, so as you can see the light falling, so when you work with them you always have to just like a little bit of like step away, but I kind of know by heart so far, so I'm just gonna blend them. And a little bit of canvas is visible, but that's okay. Let me see. See how muted that got the edges? So you just, and I wouldn't drop anything else down. I honestly wouldn't. This is bright enough. This is bright enough. I could maybe drop this section here just a little bit. But yeah, overall, this is looking fine. There's a piece of here from the brush. It's not a big deal. I am going to add a little bit of black. Now we want to blend that in too. But yeah, you'll be able to see like a couple of days after you finish, when the shine disappears, you'll be able to see what you actually did. Moving on. So what we want now, we're done with these. I don't think I'm gonna need these two. I'm just gonna put them aside. No need to wash them, just a second. No need to wash them yet. This is all, yeah, everything falls on my desk, but that's okay. Okay, let me see. So I need a smaller brush. I'm probably gonna use this one, and I'm gonna need another one to blend. But since we're doing edges that don't have to be fully blended and we need precision, we're gonna see what we're gonna use. Probably some of those. Let's see how big the tree comes up. So what we're doing now, can I lean it on that? I probably can. So what we're doing now is, oh God. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So what we're gonna do, oopsie. What we're gonna do is, so we have this olive green, and I don't use any oils in this, although I probably should. So we're just going to mark our darkest sections. Okay. And you can use black for this too, because it all gets blended out anyway. Now, don't push it all the way to the edge of where your previous color is, because you're gonna blend it. So, and there's some trees. There's gonna be some trees. Now we can use a little bit of green, because you still see what you're doing and you see the color at night. And now we're free to do what we want. We're just gonna add, yeah, this looks good. We're gonna blend that in a minute. Just add some variety. And I have olive green here mixed with black. So if you first put it on the canvas, it's gonna look black. I don't know if you can see, but if you thin it out, you're going to see that it's the olive green. You see the difference? So that's the kind of manipulation I'm talking about, because you can literally make the paint work for you and make the brush work for you. The more you press, the lighter it will be in this case, because there's nothing below this color on the canvas. If there was, we would tread lightly. So you can use that. We're gonna get in with more layers after. I just want to determine where things are gonna be. Now, you can fake the distance with darkness and blurriness. So this is gonna be closer. It makes sense that this is closer because when you look at it, this is higher on the canvas. But this gets to stay. I'm gonna blend it in a minute and you'll see. This gets to stay. So this is just like a regular bush. We're gonna make that a regular bush. That's gonna look good. So we're gonna have like a bunch of shadows there. Not blending anything yet. Let's see, what else can we add? We want balance in life and in painting. So if you have two, you're likely gonna have three. It's just the catch of where we put it. Just like in life. So we can put it closer. We can put it here. Or we can group it. I usually do this pretty intuitively. Like there's no plan. Because if we put it here, it needs to be drastically taller. And for that to be taller, it would need to be closer, which means it would need to be here if we want it to be taller, because this is behind and this is even more behind. The good thing is we can add it whenever we want. So we'll just go ahead and add some more paint. Now I have this yellow ochre mixed with I think this olive green. And don't be afraid to press that brush, because only then you'll get to see what it can do for you. So we're just gonna briefly blend this section. Because that's further away, so we want it blended. That's cool. That's cool. And I love oil paints for this reason exactly, because you can blend and you can do whatever you want with them basically. So we're just gently going, just gently, and wipe off the extra. So what do we have? Invite. I don't get the invites. Like, am I supposed to? Is that considered okay? I don't know. So we're just gonna blend, and what's even better is we're gonna blend it to the sides a bit. Just a bit. Well, we're gonna use another brush for that. Just to keep it like far away and gentle, almost as if the wind took it and carried it away. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna do that on this whole section because I want to keep it fully neutral. There we go. Because it's dark, you know. But the stars are gonna show us the way. Anyway, you're painting the emotion. You're not painting the scene itself. Like I said, this is just, it's not realism, so you focus on the emotion. You can bring in some of those down because nature has no perfect form. There we go. There we go. And even if a little bit of white moves down, it doesn't matter. So we used what we had here. Let me see. We're just gonna move on. To add some lighter and darker sections, because even if it's dark, you still kind of see. And even if we leave some of the canvas bare, it doesn't matter. We're going to sort this up later. And don't be afraid to wipe that brush on the canvas. I just pulled that line so I know where it visually ends, so I can determine other stuff. I want a little bit of dark to go on top, yeah. I like it so far, it's looking good. And like there's no reference, this is just like from my own mind that we yet to do. I don't use Pinterest because of copyright and because I do plan to sell, so I can't publish a piece. Plus it's not realism, so like why would I bother looking for realism if I'm gonna add a little bit more black. Maybe I add a pat around here. No, that would look good. That would look good. Just a minute. I'll show you. Pat under the stars. Yeah, that would look good. And as you see, you let the painting guide you, and that's kind of the best way you can paint. So when you paint the distance, your moves are short and tiny, because that's how human eye perceives the distance. When you paint the front, you'll want to do, but we'll do it later, you'll want to do like this. Just get a little bit of white. Let's see what the white does. Because the path is gonna start here. So yeah. And just add it like this. So, and when you paint the front, you'll want the grass to be closest to you, or whatever you think human eye sees. So feel free to play around with that. Now it's gonna be, we're gonna fix this. That's gonna be that, and you can use the brush to get that idea of grass. Just short streaks, just kind of blended, but not really. And it's oil still. We basically are drawing with the oil paint. We're gonna put our pat there, and we're just gonna, yeah, I had a vision of how this is gonna be, but you know, turns out different, it's fine. It's tricky to work with these shades because you kind of don't, it's kind of hard to visualize what you're doing. So let's just set up the grass. We do a little bit of grass, and the grass gets bigger and taller as you move forward. And we're just gonna blend it a bit. Everything is muted anyway. It's dark, it's night, so again, it's not like you can make some grave mistake. Yeah. And the pigments of oil paint all dry differently, so I actually have no idea when this is gonna be dry, but that's okay. We're in no rush to dry it, so that's fine. I think that's okay. I just want to get another brush and lay in the untouched road that we promised we're gonna do. So let me just and blend it, you know, nothing's stopping you from blending it. Everything is fine. Let's just get that over there. And it's covered by grass. I want to lower that section a little bit further. Now we can blend the back section, but we don't have to. And that's the third one. The road is the third one, the path is the third one, because I said we do in threes. And this looks balanced enough. We're just gonna make this bush a little bigger. Gonna make it a little bigger. Let me just get the brushes that I need. And this one doesn't have to be like blurry. It can actually be less defined, more defined, because it's closer to you, but it's still dark, so you kind of don't. And I want to use the shadow and the dark to enhance how close it is to. There we go. Okay. Can even make it a bit more tall, because why not? Yeah. Because now this is not a tiny tree in the distance. This is actually a little road that you get to take, and it's there to make you feel small. There we go. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a tree. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So if we had left, this can be a little darker now that I'm taking a look at it. If we had left this like without the pad, it feels like, oh, I'm here, but with the pad it feels like, oh, I need to move through here. That's the catch. And let me check. I might as well leave it like on the wall. Yeah, this is good. I like this. We can get this to be a little bit more pronounced. It's nice. Yeah, and like I said, the closer you are, oh, this is good. This is good. You want to leave the strokes. Leave the strokes. I like this style though, because it's easy to make, it's easy to paint, and it's like, it's so fulfilling. It's so, I don't know, I love it so much. I can do all sorts of other stuff, but this is where I find solace. This is where my mind is every minute. of every day. I'm like, I need to paint, and that's where I am. And people call it insanity sometimes. Up the grass. And when you're working with grass, usually, you want it. You want it like in at least 3 different. Um, I blocked. It's not a hue. Maybe it is a hue. You want to have the middle value, the bright value, and the dark value. At least 3. So when your eye sees it, it assigns shapes to the like the object that it's there. Now here we kind of can't do it because I've done what I've done, but you know it's still there. Only when you get in fully, I'm gonna add a little bit more of value difference. So let me just swing this up. Now, the further things are away from you, the more you're gonna feel, the more they're gonna blend. So we just want to accentuate some grass. I had some brushes I had to retire recently, so this is why I'm kind of struggling. I had 2 brushes that have died on me, and boy did I love them. But you know, it is what it is. You kind of have to make peace with that. So I'm just gonna get that. Come on. So like the road is not, it's muted, you know. We have a little bit of white on the canvas left here. Let me fix that for a second. I'm gonna take a clean brush just in case something gets messed up. And I'm just gonna drop it, just use a dash of white. Let me see. So I'm gonna try to show you, although it's getting darker here. You'll see it. I'm gonna do a reveal just in a minute because it's almost done. Let me get it closer. Is it gonna zoom in? Let me let some light in. Okay, so this is what I mean. If it were day, we would have like a little bit more of lighter stuff around here, like lighter grass, maybe red grass, some other like value. But this is also this is equally good. Now, I don't like that tree. I like that it shows the sky. I think I'm gonna leave it regardless. It's fine. The tree's fine. So now we're gonna get the stars on. And I've only ever done this with acrylics. So let's see what this is gonna do. Just need to get a spatula. So we want to dilute, well not dilute, we want to make our white paint a bit more manageable. So I'm going to use a little bit of oil on the, where is that? And I'm just going to make it so that it can land on the canvas. Okay, I think this should be enough. And what we're gonna do, because yeah, that dropped, that was close. It ended up right here. Oh boy. Okay. We're gonna cover the lower section because if I have a speck of white drop on this, I'm gonna flip it. So just place it like this, so it doesn't stick. So you don't press. You just leave it like this. Okay. Now I had. Let me see. I'm just gonna use the fan brush real fast. Was this for oil? I don't know. I'm gonna use it, never mind. I'm gonna use the fan brush, and I'm gonna use the, I'm gonna need this. And test, always test. So don't like immediately put stuff on the canvas that you doubt in, but test. Let me see. Okay. And start slow, start small. So just load up the brush and let's see what it does. Okay. Oh, nice. Now this is gonna be barely visible, but trust me when I tell you, it's gorgeous. And there's no point in putting a lot of the stars on the white section. You might as well group it. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna just have some stars bigger, some smaller. So we're done with that. We're done with that. Let's get some stars, star accents, and that's it. That's done. No, I don't have a steady hand, so this is a mess. So I'm just gonna make it a bit brighter. Okay. Yeah, you know, just a few, just for good measure. Just. Just a little bit. The focus. Okay. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's take a look. So that's it. Our moody evening night walk is done. There are stars. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I have to get up now because I have a herniated disc and my back is killing me when I sit to think. Oh yeah. So you can reuse the tapes. I just stick in places. They're gonna be greasy and oily, but that is okay. And we're just gonna gently put them on another painting. I think I have one more of these, so I have to get like about 10 canvases, 10 frames to put this in, so that's gonna be awesome. And I'm hoping to soon reach 1,000 followers, so I can put a link in my bio. And the whole process, if you don't catch the live, is gonna be on my YouTube. So this is like, imagine it in the frame. I can't show you nicely because it's dark outside, but yeah, that's gonna go in the frame once it dries. You can see the details. That's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you around.